Hey, welcome to Love the Bomb, a podcast all about performers' worst nightmares. Bombing on stage. I'm one of your hosts, Lauren Hutton.
I'm the other one of your hosts, Luke Fagenbush.
In the studio with us this week is...
Andrew Rudick.
Tell us about yourself, Andrew. Put yourself in a nutshell. Give us your socials. God, we got real good at introing for no reason.
I didn't feel like that was good.
Oh, okay. That's
right
fair.
down the barrel. Like,
No, I liked it. Listen.
okay, sorry.
It's okay. It's
Like a double-barrel shotgun with this intro. Everybody stare down my barrels.
It's a Mexican standoff intro.
Listen. My name's Andrew Rudick. I'm a stand-up comedian / philosopher / lover. I'm a party slut with the sass to match. You wanted a rundown. You want it concise. That's what it is, bitch. Locked and loaded. I didn't mean to call anyone a bitch. Certainly not a woman. What am I doing? Listen, my name's Andrew, and I'm...
Take two.
My name's Andrew Rudick. I'm a sexual man, and I'm a comedian, and I'm fun. Okay, and people like me, and they've said that about me.
Where can people find you in your pink jacket, Rudick?
I have a podcast with my much more successful sister, which is fucking bullshit. No, I'm just kidding.
Podcast is
again?
great.
Yeah,
His sister, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a podcast with my sister, who's also a comedian. It's called The Rudicks Are Home, a sister-brother podcast.
Hell yeah.
Because of feminism and success, we ordered it that way.
Yes.
And it's fun. It's flirty. Join up. Check out my Instagram or whatever the fuck shit you're into.
Yeah.
I got a website. I got it all.
What?
What's
yeah.
that Webby? Give me them Webby, Eddie.
AndrewRudick.com.
You
That's
got- you
Andrew,
nabbed
RUDick.com. All right, this ain't no game. I wish I hadn't said this ain't no game. Fuck.
Do you want to take it back again?
Yeah. Hi, my name's Andrew Rudick, and I'm very insecure. But aren't we all?
Thanks for listening.
I'm a celestial being, and so are you, gentlemen.
Enjoy the episode, everybody.
Do you need me to say something about Laurie Graves?
Thanks so much for listening to Andrew Rudick's funny episode. Thanks again to all of our Patreon listeners. Lori Graves, Breezy Lee, Josh, Patrick Neiman, Nathan Alexander, DD Diva, Triple D Diva, Jim Fagenbush, Cameron James, Gretchen Schultz, Evan Breckmeyer, Jarrell, McGregor Lakes, Garrett Titlebaum, and Eric N. Thank you so much. Listen to my episode next week.
Child hands. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
perfect.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
That looks great. I checked.
Yeah.
You still have a face on camera.
Sweet.
Everything is 100% a podcast now.
Am I
that.
audible?
Do you think
Sounding
you're audible?
fresh? I think I sound pretty crisp.
I think you're
Yeah.
worth one free book a month.
How are my plosives?
I love a good
You've
photo.
never asked me that before. Why are you asking me now?
They're good then.
Plosive.
Is that something that you worried about with
Nancy
your
Pelosi.
podcast, Puzzle Buddies?
Well, my current podcast is with my sister. We don't know.
We're not going to start now. We're going to start
Yeah.
in the past.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about plosives. I'm more worried about like just it looking. The visuals seem so much more important now.
Well, yeah, man. Everything's
Yeah.
metrics and traffic
Yeah.
and clips, and like you seem to be diving headlong into that more so than most people that
Yeah.
I know.
You gotta have those subtitles up. It's
Yeah.
all visual.
Yeah,
You do.
The audio is literally irrelevant.
Yeah.
Although
Everyone's just
when we post something where it's shitty audio, that tends to reflect. They want everything.
Yeah. You gotta have it all.
Nasty little piggies.
Yeah.
They don't-
Nasty little piggies.
They don't want it
Slopping it
all,
up.
I was thinking.
but they want access to it
Yeah.
all. You know,
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want the option.
I'm not
Yeah.
always going to eat the slop, but the trough better be full at all times.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. I've been saying that. I have.
Rudick shows up in Arkansas. Where's the trough? It better be
Yeah.
fucking full.
Yeah.
Have you performed in like all of the continental states?
No. I've performed in Arkansas.
Okay, good. I'm glad I pulled that one out of the air.
Yeah. But no, probably half. Maybe
That's
That's
not
a good
bad.
amount.
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
really been on the West very much. Are we starting?
We start when it feels right.
Okay. I
Does it
like
feel
that.
right?
Yeah.
Once
yeah.
we get past us just throwing random states at you and you being like, nah, I haven't been there. I
Yeah.
was there once. Not
Yeah.
for comedy, though. It's a wedding.
Yeah.
Real inconvenient. Had to get a plane ticket, buy a new suit. It was horseshit.
Yeah.
Speaking of suits, though, you're looking fly.
Thank you.
You have.
Thank you.
I got to admit, man, seeing you as a Blazer comic suits you.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. No, I'm very excited. I'm trying to change things up. Trying to do something different.
I thought you might have like graduated because I saw less of you around, and then you're posting about shows. Then I saw the Blazer, and I knew you graduated. You
No,
were-
I didn't graduate. There's no graduate. Yeah, no, I don't know. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to. I also Nordstrom has Nordstrom Racks app.
Yeah.
You can
what?
get some
What?
Nordstrom.
There's an app?
There's a Nordstrom Rack app that I ordered suits from. And
Okay.
they have got some deals.
These are the details I didn't know I wanted.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
As a tall,
Yes.
slender man, knowing where
Yeah.
you get those suits was
Yeah.
an info I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah.
More useful information, less impressed by the suits. But
Yeah.
even so, it's pretty cool.
Well, but then I got them tailored too. I ordered them and then I got
Oh,
them
okay.
tailored. So
There
it's
it is.
double-
Okay,
you
all
gotta
right.
double.
Off the rack, but still
Yeah.
bougie. I like
Still,
it.
you gotta do something. I wanted to do something different. I'm glad that I did though, because it changes how people are much more attentive and
Really?
open to listen
What?
to you. Yeah, because it's like
You look like a
some-
professional? Is that it?
yeah. And somebody described it to me as like you're being respectful to the audience when you dress up. Because if you look like shit and you go up there and like you just dress like whatever on like a professional show, you're telling the audience that you didn't even take the time. It's like disrespectful to them.
Right.
Like,
This is so
you-
good. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, I love that. I thought I wasn't sure. if
Okay,
you were
just now
get
we've
robbed.
definitely started.
yeah, I love that.
You were just saying something about how wearing a blazer on stage has changed the perception of the audience and
Yeah.
their attention of you. Would you care to expound on that more?
Sure. Yeah.
Thanks
yeah.
for the recap.
We're no longer a comedy podcast. We're now a straight edge NPR style bullshit show.
Well, I saw Ryan Stout wearing a suit. He was one of my favorite. He's always been one of my favorite comics, and I even asked him about it before I started wearing it. But he talked about this. Like, it just changes. The audience pays attention to you, and they give you more, like more slack or more like a. They just you're automatically taken more seriously for whatever reason, whether that's good or bad. And I don't know. It just changes. Like, I'm sorry, I got real high. I feel like I explained it good before.
Yeah, turn the AC
and then-
back on.
turn
Let's
the
see how it
AC
goes.
back on. Can we take 3?
Oh hell yeah, we can. Big fans
Back
of
to
Take
one,
3.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
You
No,
think they're
that makes perfect sense though.
Yeah.
Because like we had mentioned that like the visual spectrum is like what anybody's paying attention to now.
Yeah.
You got to have like everything looking right for
Yeah.
a podcast, which is fucking weird.
Yeah.
But before you ever open your mouth, people see you walk on stage and they're clocking you.
Yeah, exactly. People make perceptions immediately when they see you. And the
Right,
first
yeah.
thing you want them to see is that you're a professional, that you took the time, because it's a show of respect to the audience that you took the time to like get dressed up. You didn't just like throw on a fucking your friend's comedy hoodie or whatever and like go out there and like these people
Just remembering
got
all the shows
babysitters.
I've done in Zorse Industry Tees. That's
Me too. Like, and there's nothing, not that there's anything wrong with that, but like if you're, especially if people are coming to see you, like I don't know. Even if you're gonna wear a hood, like if you're like wear it, but like do your fucking hair or like you know.
Accessorize. Don't just throw shit on with no thought behind
It
it.
kind of addresses something I was thinking about, where it's like, where would a suit hurt a comedian? Is there like a comic, like if Blake went up on in a suit, I'd be like, kind of what the fuck? I don't know that necessarily suits his vibe.
Yeah, but like if he wanted to, like it's like whatever fashion is like whatever you feel comfortable wearing, or whatever like you feel confident and comfortable. So like,
Oh, I like that.
if a suit, if he feels good in one, then fucking wear it. Like it doesn't. And that's the thing that's the next point that I want to get to is
Hitting
Take
the
the
hard
Will Rudick.
bullet points with Andrew Rudick.
Number 2 on my shit list.
Let's go on my shit list. If you're a new comedian and you want to get into comedy, take whatever risks you want to take, and don't listen to bullshit gatekeepers and these shitty comics.
What do you mean by that? Risks, first of all.
Like,
what kind
not-
of risks
like-
are you encouraging people to do?
Hate speech.
Hate
obviously.
speech.
That's
on
what I
stage.
want to
Yeah.
make sure that we're not doing.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about writing, right? I mean, like, what's happening with comedy right now, where it's becoming putting clips out online. Like, because the people who are like shitting on that are just the same shitty people who will be in those same places. Like, you have to take a risk, and you have to put yourself out there in a way and not worry about the judgment of other people and shitty comics who are not the fan base you're trying to build. You're not putting out content for other comics. You're putting it out for a fan base that you don't have yet.
Comics don't have money. They don't typically buy tickets because they're banking on getting in for
Yeah.
free and then stealing a beer out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
So they're not going to.
We can do that?
Well, in some places,
That was allowed.
I'll show you some spots later. But yeah, dude, that's not the audience that you're trying to build.
Yeah.
That is such a poignant thing to say.
And what it kept me for so long, like I was an early adopter to a lot of this social media stuff. And my biggest regret is that I wasn't an even earlier adopter, because I listened to the judgment and criticism of shittier comics who are too scared to take those risks. And instead, they waste that it's low frequency energy, and they waste it on like judging other people instead of like, oh, that person's shitty for moving to that city, right? Taking a risk. That person's shitty for putting clips out, even if they're not good. Like, I put stuff out there that's absolute slop because
We
it's
didn't want to
for
bring
the
it up.
piggies. Yeah.
You gotta feed those piggies.
You gotta feed the piggies. And I don't care what like comics that I idolize. I used to like think of the slop that I'm putting out. It's for the piggies. It's for the
Right.
dum-dums.
Yeah.
Keep
Shout
them
out
troughs
to
full.
Lay Pepe on Facebook for the nice comment that he made on one of our clips, where he thought it was a very boring podcast. And you know what? I thought we would have hit that 4chan demographic a little harder, but I guess they're not into it.
Somebody named Le Pepe.
Le
L-E-
Pepe.
Space
Le
Pepe.
Pepe. Yeah.
You're advertising that you have a micro penis as your.
It's on our flag.
What do you mean?
No,
No. Jeez.
Listen, and let me also say
Our
something.
micro
If you
penis
have
is
a
very
micro penis,
confident.
why is that the only thing that's okay to body shame? Like, I'm sick of, I'm sick of all my ex-girlfriends
Every one of them.
online talking about it.
So you found out about the Facebook group.
Yeah. Andy's tiny weenie Kamini. I was trying to get Kamini. I don't even know it.
They're clearly not comedians. They're the girlfriend of a comedian formerly, and
Yeah, exactly.
you can't riff those hot titles. Like,
Exactly.
How has being on the road affected your love life?
It's
Podcasting.
it's tough. I have a wonderful girlfriend, and we have an unconventional relationship because we both have unconventional lives. She has a very like high level corporate job and a daughter, and I am low on her priority list, so that allows, not that I'm low, but I'm below some other things on her priority list
time-wise.
time-wise, so it doesn't, create this like where most relationships are like, I need you to be home. Like, it's like,
There's no
So-
tension there because you have to be out
Yes.
doing gigs.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yeah.
yeah, and
really
she's
important.
she's so smart and like wise and helps me understand myself and like like what's going on around me and my own neuroses, and she just like, you know, she was talking about like going back to posting clips and stuff. She was talking about how what's happening in comedy right now, so many people rail against it, like this is bullshit, like, and I get it, part of it, like there is so much like of the same shit that's getting pumped out. It's a lot of like, you know, what do you do? What's, you know, how long you been together? It's a lot of the same stuff, but at the same time, it's out intermediaries, gatekeepers, these bullshit pigs who get in the way of like, there's a direct line now. So these people so if you're a new comic and they're like, you're at a club and the comics won't allow you to like rise up through the ranks because they're shitty and they know they won't ever be successful. You can do that on your own. Like, you don't need to, you
Yeah.
can skip those lines. Like being ready, you know, you got to do whatever. You got to be ready to headline. I've seen so many people just like headline out of nowhere because they've made their own path and they didn't listen to all of this bullshit and noise of like, don't do this. You know, people are judging you. People are watching you. Like, it's take a damn risk. And it's what my girlfriend was telling me is we are witnessing evolution right now.
Yeah.
Pure and simple. What we're seeing is evolution. It may not be fun, you know, this having to adapt to like creating videos and like video editing, but guess what? That's human nature. And we're watching in real time people get lobbed off. Like comedians that I love, like, and admire, some of the best people I look up to. Like, it's kind of sad to me on the one hand because there's these people that I look up to that I'm seeing like just like fall by the wayside because
Kind of
they
get left behind because they're
refusing to change. But it's also like, and also like if you can still start now, but you're behind now. Like, you got to get on the fucking wagon.
If you
It's-
don't already know how to use a video editor beyond like Microsoft Movie Maker or iMovie on your phone,
PowerPoint.
you're ridiculously behind.
Yeah,
And that's coming
yeah.
from a person that uses a program like that every day almost
Yeah.
and barely knows how to use it. So, yeah, figure your shit
yeah,
out.
when they're not that hard to learn is the other thing. They're overwhelming at first,
Yeah.
but like
We
yeah,
did it.
There's a learning
yeah,
curve.
We've all done
yeah.
it. Like there's a big learning curve, but it's manageable.
I remember opening Paint for the first time, and I was like, "Whoa, the colors!
Yeah.
What am
So
I even
many
going to do with these?"
Yeah.
But it's kind of refreshing to look at the positive side of the social media shift where it feels like every time we bring it up, it's like, oh, it's such an obligation to like get clips out and post about
Yeah.
shows and all of
Yeah.
that. But also like your point where it's opening the door for just anyone to have a platform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it cuts out a lot of that
What's-
middle person.
Yeah. What's the alternative? I got to wait for fucking some idiot to tell me that I'm like, my dick jokes are funny enough to headline that shitty club. Like, who gives a you know, like now you can, I saw it happen with my own sister where she featured one weekend ever and now she's headlining selling out clubs. And don't get me wrong, like she has the experience. She's a brilliant comedian, but like overnight success because of social media. Like, and she's like some degree famous now. She gets recognized in every city that we go to.
I wanted to mention something to you.
yeah.
Your sister popped up on our TV.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was the most surreal experience because it was a streamer that we watch who was
Yeah.
doing a stream of random TikToks, cringe you drink or something
Yeah.
along those lines. And then there's a Rudik.
Yeah.
In the living room.
Yeah.
The internet made that happen.
Yeah, overnight. She got 100,000 followers in the span of 30 days. And this was at the beginning of her growth. Like she had 30,000 at the time and she got 100,000
That's
in the span of 1 month.
huge.
Because she was not scared of like these fucking peons. And also, this is the other thing that I learned. Be very mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yes.
And the opposite is also true.
Yes. And if you're around low frequency people who are being negative and telling you that like it's stupid to try that or don't even whatever and just complaining about the way comedy is and the way comedy is changing, why are you complaining? Like either leave or like start adapting to it, you know? And if you get caught in traps of negativity and you don't even know. And the next thing you look around, it's like all these. That's the other thing is like if you're a new comic, make friends with people who are outside of comedy too, like
That's
other
important.
groups,
Yeah.
because there are so many beautiful, wonderful, hilarious, amazing people in comedy, but there's a lot of fucking sociopaths and insane people. And like
Some of them flip that coin every day and decide what they're going to be when they
Yes.
walk out the door.
yes. Yeah. I removed myself from the scene a little bit because I didn't like a lot of these, like you just realize, because at first you're so like allured by all of it. It's like, oh, this is so exciting. And
Yeah.
you're in a haze. And then you realize like, oh, so many of these people have mental illness, and like that person's a sexual predator, and like that person's a, psycho. Like, and it's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck? Like,
How did
gotta
I
get away
find
from these
myself in
people.
this like toxic pit
Yeah.
of vipers?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, these are my friends. What
Yeah.
did I do to myself?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
find good people. Like
People who want to like go up on stage are a weird crowd, because it's a weird thing to be like, I want people to stare at me and be quiet and hear me talk. And it
Yeah.
could be because they have an urge to entertain, but it could also be because they're narcissists. or-
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I feel like I've been kind of firing out a little negativity. I want to bring it up a little bit,
There
like
you
as an
go.
example of somebody who's
Get
doing
some
it
high
right.
frequencies in
High
here,
frequency.
Rudy.
Hannah Youngholm, who you guys know, she just
Yeah.
moved to Chicago. She's become one of my favorite comedians in the city. And for the month before she went to Chicago, she moved into my house, which is also my parents' house, because I live with my parents. They have a guest bedroom, multiple guests. So I've lived in one guest bedroom. She had another guest bedroom, my sister's room when she's out of town, right? So she's my new adopted sister
Okay.
for a month. And being around her and like positive, writes every single day. Every time I would get negative, start talking shit about people, because I do it too. I'm not immune to the drama
Yeah.
and the bullshit. She would correct me on it. Like, those are the people you want in your lives. People like, don't talk
focus
about that
on
shit.
that. Let me correct your perspective.
Because it's all
Yeah.
energy. Where is
Yeah.
that going? Put it towards writing. Write a new joke if you're pissed
Yeah.
about somebody,
Yeah.
right? Like, work on something. Watch a video about video editing. Like, whatever, do whatever. Make a website. Whatever you have to do. But like, she was amazing. Like, she would write, setting goals, being positive, like doing like positive, like self-help stuff, like eating right, doing yoga, like all this stuff. And then, she was like, I want to have 10,000 followers before I moved to Chicago. She had 6,000 at the time, and a video was like popping off for her and going viral. 2 days later, she had 12,000 followers. Like,
Damn.
it's setting goals and just being very intentional with what you're doing and who you're with. And like, it makes a huge, huge difference. Because being around her in that month span, I wrote a bunch of new jokes because I was like, oh shit, she's writing. It's the same thing with my sister. I watch her. I'm like, this person's working. She's gotten to this point because she works hard. I watch this. I am talking so much. This coffee is good. It's got me juiced.
It's,
no problem.
You've taken like 4 sips. That mug is
was
still
drinking-
very full.
I was drinking a lot before I came.
And we're like, more coffee? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, let's get
Okay.
this fucking thing going.
Yeah, let's juice it up, baby. Let's juice it up.
You brought like a really, really good perspective on something that I wanted to talk with you personally, because like you are one of the few people that I know from around here who is just cranking out content constantly.
Yeah.
And it does seem to go against the grain of a lot of the perspective of people that we've had on this show that have come in here and said, TikTok comedians aren't comedians.
Yeah.
I knew you before you were a TikTok comedian. You're not a TikTok comedian. I don't know why I said that.
No, I get what you're saying.
But do you think that this is sort of like a double-edged sword where you're going to see people put in situations consistently that they aren't prepared for, that they don't have the chops for?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've seen it. Like, it
Oh,
plays
have you
out
now?
in real time.
Well, this is a bombing podcast, so you got any good gold
Yeah,
ones?
well, I don't want to like shit on anyone in particular, but like, you see people who aren't ready. But what happens is like, it's a natural, just like evolution. Like, if somebody skyrockets to the top, right, and they don't have the chops for it, they can sell out a room for a year, or they can sell out like clubs, or not necessarily sell out, but draw people to these clubs for a year. If they bomb their ass off for 45 minutes, none of those people will ever come back, right? And that person's success will flame out It happens. It happens a bunch. Like I've seen it like with some comics who are, and then I've seen the alternative where like Ben Brainerd was somebody who's brought me on the road, who he's not necessarily like, he had like 5 years of hard work under his belt before he got thrust into a headliner position. So he wasn't necessarily like, he was somewhere that was like in the middle, maybe thrust a little bit, but he thrived because he worked his ass off. My sister didn't have much feet, never really done even 25 minutes, you know, and then she gets thrust into this headliner position. She busts her ass, writes material, but she's been doing comedy for 15 years. Like, this isn't an amateur, whatever. But so for people like my sister, or people like who rise to that occasion and become funny, you know, or become, because it's about work ethic more than anything, you know. But it's weird because I also saw clips of like Stuart Huff is like my favorite comedian of all time, and he's a good friend. And I saw him, you know, clips of him on here talking about how like he hates it all, it's boring. And I love Stuart, and it crushed me because I love him so much. I love him.
Could never imagine we would have that type of impact.
But Stuart's always like, it's not just social media. He's always been like that about all aspects of comedy, where it's like he's a pure comedian. He doesn't give a fuck about fame, and that's a double-edged sword because it's like it makes like I love him. He's brilliant, but now the world can't see him.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be allowed to see him if he was himself because he'd have to compromise his act to get to that point, and he refuses.
I think he'd probably be the first one to say that he's lost stuff because of that, and he's happy to have, because he's like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
He has a different level of contentment, and that's something that we should all strive for, is to find contentment and happiness outside of, you know, the attention we get on stage.
That should be a big old asterisk if you're doing successful things and you're trying very hard and you're completely miserable. Maybe success isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Not success in general, but that type of thing.
But it's weird because I idolize Stuart. Like that made me feel very conflicted too, because I'm like, I understand what he's saying too. Like I feel that side of it, but like there's a part of me that's like, I am so obsessed with like comedy and like the dream of being a working comedian that like I feel like so hungry to do whatever it takes to get to that point. And it's like you really have to like, I was thinking about this because, again, my girlfriend was saying, she's like, I've never met anybody who's so like singularly focused on something. And like, you have to have that to succeed at comedy. Like, you have to like think about it constantly. And also, if you're a new comic and you're hearing this like, and like, oh shit, I don't feel that way. I didn't feel that way for several years when I started. I thought I wanted to be a teacher. I had one foot out the door. I wasn't really like, it was, you know, some people try heroin when they're 16, right? And they're fucking gone. Like, I'm gone
do
for life.
Yeah.
Let him land, Luke.
Right.
Let him land.
Other people do gateway drugs, and they spend, and then they dip their toe in, and they, you know, eventually. That's how I was. I tried heroin late, like, and that's comedy is. It is an addiction in that way, but it's like you have to be like so addicted to it. And
so when you first approached comedy, was it just kind of, oh, this is a fun thing I can do on the weekend?
Yeah, it was like I liked it, and then I was like, but I didn't really see a path for it to be anything.
How long did you like kind of continue that before?
For like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. Yeah, for several years.
What changed? What made your perspective switch to like, oh no, this is all of it?
There was kind of so I wanted to be a teacher, and I was getting my master's. And at the same time, my sister was doing sketch comedy, and she was cranking out cooler and cooler stuff in New York and doing comedy. So I was like watching her, and I was sort of becoming like disillusioned with academia. Like I saw how shitty and how much of a pyramid scheme
I
it
think
all.
we talked about that the last time you were on a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and then I just
Go
kind
back
of
and watch it.
yeah.
Listen to it.
Yeah, you can't watch it. It was the Zoom days.
Right. But as that was happening, like as I was kind of like losing interest in, you know, whatever in that field, I'm slowly like getting hooked more and more into comedy. I'm like trying, and then when I started, I don't know when the switch was, but I just started really like taking it seriously, and like I was like, okay, this is gonna be my life now, and like I'm not doing that anymore. That's over. You know, got fired from Cincinnati State, and it's not it's not for what you're thinking. It was for touching the kids. They weren't kids; they were fully grown adults. So it's fine. It's totally cool.
Cincinnati State.
Yeah. Totally cool. Totally fine.
Between now and our last show, there have been a lot of changes. Like in your life, like what do you think the biggest one of those is for you? Because
Blazer.
you were still you're blazed up, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think it's what's happened in my sister's life, which is that like she's become kind of famous overnight, and she's helped like bring me up with her and share that success with me, which is awesome. And it's cool because we've gotten to travel together, and so yeah, that's just been. It's been really cool. It's been cool to see like. You know what's the coolest thing of all of it is watching the actual impact that comedy can have. And to get cheesy for a minute, I've heard so many comics roast the idea of like, so Bo Burnham in his special, you guys saw did you see the new special?
Not many times.
Yeah. You know that song he's talking about how like, I can cure the world with comedy or whatever, healing the world with comedy. I remember seeing that and I was just like, oh, fuck, like what we do is so fucking dumb and pointless.
Yep.
And it kind of like bummed me out. But then I've watched people come up to my sister in these meet and greet lines crying. Like they're meeting Brad Pitt or whatever, a celebrity, like actually crying and like so overwhelmed with emotion. And I can't tell you how many people, the most recent one, big military guy comes up and he's like on the verge of tears and he's like, I got to tell you, I've been estranged with my best friend from the Army for the last 5 years. Your videos brought us back together because we sent them to each other.
Holy
That's
shit.
happened so many times. I've seen like probably like just in my own personal, like seeing it with her, I've seen it like maybe like 7 times where somebody's been like, you know, you're 2 people. It's a lot of times it's 2 people and they're like, this was my estranged sibling or my estranged best friend, and your videos, little like sketches that made her famous. That's like the wealthy woman on TikTok.
Yeah.
Super funny. And just change their lives. So it's like, it can actually have such a profound impact. And then again, you go back to like, it's fucking stupid to. And by the way, I told her to start putting those videos out there. I really did. And I'm not saying that. I will take full credit for her success. I will say that.
I wouldn't have you do anything else.
Yeah.
I think you're fully responsible.
Right. But honestly, I only say that to say that like even her, somebody who is very fearless, it took like me being like, because she didn't want to. She was like, no, I don't want. She literally, the reason I hate, can we cut that I said literally because I'm about to misuse it. She would not get on TikTok, and I'm like, you have these hilarious characters, whatever. Like it's during the pandemic. I was like, just do it. And she's like, well, she was worried about all of her friends and comics who follow her, like, you know, big people, right? And I was like, do it on TikTok. Nobody follow. And she's like, okay, that's a good idea. Because then nobody will like that I know will follow me.
Yeah. It's a safe space for me to be a fool. And yeah.
Fast forward 4 months, she has 500,000 followers on TikTok. And then she immediately starts, as soon as her first one goes viral, she does it on Instagram. Now she has 500,000 on, you know, Instagram.
Damn.
And then 100,000 on Facebook.
So
like
this was all during like quarantine. During
it started then, and then really it's been like a slow burn in like 6 months from like and then from like September to like now she's gotten like to where like she's being recognized everywhere. It's so weird.
Were you like quarantine with her? Were you like front row seats for that or?
Well, she came in town a few times and
she's a super spreader.
No,
She went viral
No, I mean,
three
this was
different ways.
no, not.
Fuck you, Luke. Oh my God.
No, not like
she was very
during, not like
self-conscious.
during the like lockdown. She was actually more safe than any, because she was in LA, so like they were on like, and her husband were being like I was doing shows, you know, during the pando, and they were like, didn't see their family for like months and
Right,
months and
yeah.
months.
Yeah.
No, they were super careful about it. But like, you know, I think one Christmas they came back. That was the Christmas that she started posting that it's all my
Yeah, that
fault.
was
Or not my fault. My it was because of me.
because of your hard
should
work
have a medal.
and encouragement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm reaping the benefits though, so I guess a headline was
You get a little
Co-headline.
kickback. Yeah.
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 What was that conversation like? Was she always like, "Hey, you want to co-headline," or was it?
Well, we had before she had started to blow up, we were already touring together.
Oh, okay.
So we were already
It's
doing
already
tours
the framework's there.
where we were like rotating, and then we have friends like we did a tour with like Blake and Gabe came along.
yeah,
We
I
had a
remember
rotating
that.
tour.
Yeah.
And that was super fun. But like certain clubs would already like co-headline us, like even like Funny Bone before, because I was in with them, and then like we would just like rotate, and and then she like took off, and I remember we had tons of conversations where she did not. Now it's like she insists we co-headline, like we do the same time, but like. She's headline. She's fucking 95% of the people are there to see her, right? Like if I went on after her, it would be so fucking weird. But even there was a period where she'd be like, "No, let's keep rotating." I'm like, "You're out of your fucking mind."
Yeah, no,
I'm not going
don't.
up after you. Like these people are here to see you. Like I'm not going. But she's so like sensitive to like. I'm like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like I'm gonna get there too. I fully believe that.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
you know, it's your time now. But it was really cool. She just completely brought me up, and like she's just like, yeah, no, they're co-headline. I'm like, no, I'll open for you, I'll feature for you, you can still pay me a lot more, but I'll feature for you. She's like, no, you're co-headline, and you're, you know, she's just adamant about it. And it's been great because now like you know, booking fucking sucks. It's so hard, and I worked really hard on that for a long time. And now when we do co-headline, the gigs I do with her goddamn agent does it.
Bro.
I can do a damn thing.
Bro.
It's incredible. It's the most incredible thing. I'm like, yeah, it's wild.
Dude, ride those coattails as
my
long as
God.
you can,
Oh
bro.
my God. I know. I want to get an agent. It's
It
wild.
is really cool to see you, especially with a sibling, not have like a drop of animosity or anything.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no! Because you know what it is I got into comedy because of her. So
Okay.
like
Yeah.
And
yeah.
interestingly, when one of the reasons that made me pull me out of and into comedy was that I assumed at the time, like this was like 11 years ago, I thought that she was on the verge of being famous at the time because she had landed some acting gig. The show ended up getting canceled. Shit like that always happens. But it was
Right.
some big show. And I was convinced that she was going to blow up. She had just moved to LA, I think. And I was like, I had this crazy rationale where I was like, you know, comedy's hard, but like I've wanted to do it. I'm watching what she's doing. If she gets famous, she can help me. It'll make it easier. That was my thinking. I was like, this will make it easier on me. And ironically, like I just got into it. She didn't. It took 11 years later, right, for her to blow up. But And the reality was like she couldn't do anything for me as a brand new like I needed to like grind out those early years and develop my own comedic voice or whatever. But now she is helping me and she is somewhat famous. So like it actually did kind of manifest. It just took so many years later.
And also
Comedy-
your hard work.
Yes. Yeah. It's both. It's both
Yeah.
for sure.
Everything is timing.
Yeah.
Everything is timing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if one thing had happened out of sync with the other, then
Everything.
Yeah.
It's timing.
Yeah.
everything.
Speaking of timing, you saved Christian Grant's goddamn life.
Oh yeah, I like because I don't like
He
talking
likes
about it
being a
ton.
hero. He just doesn't
No.
like mentioning
I
it.
mean, I want to talk about it. I can't believe it wasn't the first thing I brought
My
up.
go-to move is being like, "Oh yeah, thanks so much." He did die, but you know, yeah, my kidney
Yeah,
killed
it
him,
didn't
but
go
thanks,
well, but
buddy.
like, dude, that's so amazing. So like, man, So were you guys like very close before? I mean, I imagine you're very close now, but were you like super close?
We
before
weren't
this?
like super close. I saw the video and I like put in for it, and I assumed correctly that a lot of people in the comedy scene were. I was just like unfortunate enough to be like a universal donor, and it was really cool. Like the
Dude,
parts of it were.
I wouldn't even let my own mother borrow my car. That's
Same,
crazy.
man. Every time it comes up, I'm like, Luke, I don't know how you did that. I'm so glad I get to steal your valor at bars when people think I'm you.
A bunch of people put in for it.
Well, there were like quite a few people.
These fucking do-gooders. I want their names.
But a lot of them were. It's like you were obviously like not physically fit. Like, what made you think you could?
Yeah, well, maybe that's why they're like, I'm a hero because I put the name in there.
Yeah, but no, I was just a match, and then it was pretty healthy, and I stopped vaping. I've started since. What's up? It's great.
Are you not supposed to?
Oh no.
No one told him
No.
to do that. No one told this maniac to stop vaping.
They advised
Yeah.
that it would probably be healthier if I didn't.
Before pre-surgery.
yeah,
Yes.
just like a
So-
nurse was like, you could probably stop vaping or
Yeah.
some shit. I don't know. I gotta go. My shift's over.
2 months leading up to it, I did go sober, and that was the worst part. It was just being completely sober
Wait, can
for
you
2 months.
you can drink now though?
I can't. I just have to match it with water. And it's like both those things are no doctor is going to be like, yeah, do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
all information that I had to like pry out of them.
That's crazy. So I imagine I haven't seen Christian since, but like I've seen videos of him. He looks like 10 times better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kidney's worth
He
better.
can actually pee
next
now.
time.
That's
He can pee. So when do you got to give it back?
I'm gonna collect like just
Or when does he got to give it
whenever.
back? Yeah. I would have. That
It's
would
a
have been
late
funny.
stage catch and
I tried
release
to
program.
carry it through, just agree really quickly before people notice. But it's a sinking ship.
Were you scared? What's the survival rate?
Oh, it's a relatively safe surgery. I don't know the exact number of it, but it's with
If you had to
surgery.
ballpark it.
99%, something like that, which is
That's
still
one.
like one out of 100.
Fuck that. I'm out, dog. Last time I let
like-
my mom borrow my car, she fucking scratched it.
My
Now I don't trust surgeons.
I'm not letting anybody borrow my car, and I don't have any kidneys left, so I'm free to live a selfish life from here on out. No, seriously, my brain was like, no, I am the type of person where my values are that, so I'm not gonna be afraid until like I'm in it. And then I was like just sitting there waiting, and I'm like, no, it's cool. I'm gonna get knocked out, wake up without a kidney. It's gonna suck for a little bit. So it wasn't like scary, unless I was being indecisive, and I tried not to do that after I'd sent in the mouth swab.
Yeah.
In for a penny, in for a kidney. That's,
Yeah. Well, it's very admirable. I'm
thanks.
very. I was. Clinton Jacob told me. I didn't even know, and he told. And good friend. I love Clinton.
Clinton's
Talk
the
about
best.
high frequency people. Get people like Clinton in your
Right?
life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Yeah. He told me that. I was like, what the fuck? That is incredible. Like, that's so cool.
I was kind of surprised by some people who were like, what? Why? What the fuck are you doing?
Because he's gonna die. Like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah, man. So, have you made him like? What have you made him? Made him do your laundry or like? What's the deal?
He does. It's like we'll go out and eat, buy food every time we do that. And I'm like, you don't have to do it. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to, asshole. Like,
for 20 years.
You'd be like, yeah, you don't have to buy me food. You can buy me food. Just kidding.
oh, really? You want me to pay? Oh, okay. I was kind of bluffing there.
Yeah.
Can I borrow $20? I only gave you a kidney.
You invited me to lunch. I didn't have gas money for this. Like, how much more do you want from me?
Yeah, if you ever need a lung, he better fucking cough it up.
Jeez.
Yeah, and now he's got a friend with a lymph node, and he knows I'm a universal donor, so he's trying to let. No, I'm making
just
that.
keep saying you're a universal donor. I'm surprised no one's asked you for an eye.
My Instagram messages are blowing up with requests for organs.
Dude, I'm a node, bro.
Have you had any like weird people slide into your DMs since your social media presence has blown up so much?
Weird people.
Any requests for like pics of feet or?
Okay, so the
tell
one
them
video
what I
that
sent
his little titsy pops. The one video that went like mega viral that I've reposted a few times, but it's accounted for the majority of the following that I have.
Which one is that? Is that?
It's a video where I'm doing a joke and I said,
Is it a heckler owns his own sexuality?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Woman's like, I was having sex with a lady and some woman's like, thank God. And I was like, thank God, who gives a shit? I'd bang a dude just to prove how straight I am. Right? It's me. Yeah, I've titled it "Comedian Destroys His Own Sexuality." So many people. This video is funny, but how did he destroy his own sexuality? Shut the fuck up. Get a life. Get a life. What are you talking about? So that video got me like tens of thousands of followers. The majority of those are gay men. Now, I have a very specific look to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what you'd call it in the gay community. String bean chic? I don't know.
Yeah, there's some animal that
Yeah.
goes with it, I'm sure.
Yeah, bad posture, chicken salad. I don't know.
Tall ferret man. There
Tall
we go.
ferret. Yeah, I'm a ferret. I'm a ferret
Scoliosis
boy.
ferret.
Yeah,
There you go.
Scoliosis ferret. So it is all gay men, and they're all aggressively hitting on me, and it's like it's so interesting for me to get like a peek into like, you think like being a woman as a comic, it must be so fucking hard. I cannot even imagine, because I think this is funny and I'm like, oh, this is interesting, but it's also like it's not as threatening when it's like a
Right.
versus like women are under fear their entire lives and then have men, but to get a peek of like how aggressive these gay men are, it is wild. Like, there's this one guy who just nonstop, like it never stops. Like if you were my man, and I keep like, I'll message you back. I'm like, hey man, I have a girlfriend. I appreciate it. Like I appreciate the support, but I'm not gay. Like, thanks for watching. And like every video, like I'd stuff you in a locker and nothing like that. No, I don't know why I said that. It would be like, I should read some of that. But it's like, but my girlfriend tells me, she's like, it's because you got to stop responding. Like when somebody's like aggressively like, she's like, the rule is if somebody immediately says something about your appearance, you gotta like cut them off. But I'm also like, as a man, you're not conditioned to like, you're not raised, like you don't grow up having people constantly. So like, it's novel, right? Having even men, I'm like, it feels good to have men like aggressive. I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like, you tell me that you dreamed to fucking gag off my dick. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm like, yeah, like what I wouldn't do, like.
Yeah.
My girlfriend never tells me all the things she would do to me.
I think when we say nice things to guys on the podcast, you immediately see how often guys get compliments by how uncomfortable we all are with that.
Right?
Just a minute ago, you were like, "Hey, you gave away a kidney. Look at you," and I'm like,
Oh my fucking god! Yeah, no, men are pigs. It's awful.
I had this one that was so crazy. It was like, you're so hot. I'm a producer in LA. Like, come out and like hang out at my pool. I'm like, gave me his phone number. I'm like, I'm not going. You're fucking weird. Like,
just moments ago on this podcast, you said you would do anything to be a professional comedian.
"What's his number?"
yeah.
I'm just saying, you have a hookup in LA.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. That guy, not a fucking producer. I can promise you that, okay? It doesn't take many clicks on his wall to realize that guy he's a liar, is what he is. That man is a liar and probably a rapist, if we're being honest.
He's a producer of inappropriate messages to the inbox of Andrew Rudick.
Yeah.
And that's about.
Yeah, he's producing smut. Oh my god! He said, "Get the fuck out of my inbox." You know? But actually, he keeps sending them because it makes me feel good.
It is dumb that like having the,
That's the entire difference. That's the ego boost. You got one viral TikTok that just led all these gay men to
TikTok.
compliment you.
Yeah. Oh, and it's so funny. It's so funny because all the comments are because it's like I'd bang a dude just to prove just to prove you wrong. I almost said just to prove how straight I am, just to prove you wrong. And so all the comments are, I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer, like, take me as tribute. So if I ever decide to be gay, I have no
Options.
shortage of men who will fuck me. It's never something I had with women.
give him a follow, guys. Do you have like a relatively fresh bombing story from your new like?
jaunts on the road.
Yeah, your new jaunts.
Yeah. I think I was thinking about this on the way. This wasn't recent, but I might have even talked about this if I did this years ago when I came on. I
Nobody
apologize.
remembers.
But yeah.
I don't think
I'm
anyone
going to tell it way
knows.
better now.
Hell yeah. Let me turn the AC back on.
The worst bomb I ever have was a moment, and it wasn't even on stage, right?
Oh, I like this. Okay.
I told you about this weekend of bombs. I think I talked about this on the last podcast, where I did a weekend of shows way out of my league in Dayton, Ohio. I was a brand new comic, and I bombed every single show. 6 shows in the week. I got the first show I bombed so hard, I said I'm going to do one more and then get out of here, and got an applause break. It like brutal, like every show, because it was just new and I just didn't know. And hosting sucks, and sometimes hosting of those big chains can be just so fucking rough. Like nobody gives a shit about like it's all for the headline, like they're ordering drinks. It's just brutal, and I had no confidence to withstand that. Like, you know, whatever, you kind of get worn down.
Oh
Just
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Especially after 6 of them. Like,
Yeah,
I feel that way after 1 of them.
Yeah. Beat down, right? Like just bomb. But I thought as a new comic, the whole thing was like, you got to be hungry. You got to ask for stuff, which is true. You do have to be hungry. You do have to ask for, and if you're a comic, ask for everything. That's how you get shit. Like people aren't going to give you stuff. If you're new, ask. Even if you think you're being annoying, you might be, but it doesn't matter. Nobody thinks about the person that's not being annoying, right? That's why a bunch of terrible comedians get a lot of work. So
Squeaky wheel.
yeah. So after the weekend of shows, there was a new booker who was running the club, and I was like, I just gotta say something. I gotta take my shot. Take my shot after bombing 6 shows. Like, yeah, ask for stuff, but don't ask for it after you just humiliated yourself.
Put some space between you and that mistake.
Sometimes don't ask. Like have the awareness to know when to and when to not ask, right? So, but I was just like, I'm hungry. I got to get that work, right? And I knew this was in Dayton, and they were building Liberty at the time, and I was like, went up to this like regional GM who had just witnessed this massacre weekend. It was like the fucking red fucking Sunday, red Friday through Sunday. It was a bloodbath. And I go up to this guy and I go, hey, I just, thank you for letting me do the weekend. If you ever need any hosts, I know you're opening Liberty. If you ever need any hosts, I live in Cincinnati. I would love to host at Liberty. And he looks at me and he just goes, hosts? Like door guys? And I go, no, like MC, like I love to MC. And he goes, listen, man, you just got to email me this kind of stuff. I hate to say it like that, but you just got to email me this kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. And I just walked away. And it was just, and then I saw him 3 years later at Helium. He had become the manager over there, and I crushed. And he was,
Oh, hell yeah.
He was like, you he was like, I cannot believe how much better you've gotten, because and I wanted to be like, you saw me at my worst.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't great at that time, but I wasn't that bad what you saw.
Right.
It's funny how that can change. Yeah. That was
Talking about positive energy and stuff, we do have a podcast that's I think the conceit is a little negative. We do seek out the failures of people and kind of
We're erring
present
on the dark side. Yeah.
No, I don't think so at all, because I think bombing is what it's like. Any failure is what
Yeah.
defines people, and like successful people like embrace failure. So like that's what it is all about.
That's the part that you included. You were like, and this is how I learned and changed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You got to go through that fire of like fucking up, and like the people. I remember my mom one time we saw a pro. Oh, she came out to a pro-am, and this guy bombed first time up, and he bombed miserably. Could not remember his jokes. Couldn't get a single laugh. Got so nervous. Could not remember his jokes, but would not go off stage. Right, and this is a packed show. Right,
It's a combo.
it was brutal. I've never seen anything like it. And I talked to my mom, and she was just afterwards, she was like, I just felt so bad for that guy. I felt so bad. And I was like, don't. Because this is the thing with comedy. It's evolution.
Mm-hmm.
That guy will either rise to the occasion and dust off that horrific failure, try again. It may be bad again, but it'll be a little bit better the next time. Right? And he'll keep trying. And that's what comedy is fucking hard. Or he'll quit, which is what he should do, because he's terrible and he's bad, and we'll never see him again, which I never did, because he quit. Like, and that's what it should be. But it wasn't for him, right? So it's for people who are like, oh, I don't like that. May have been terrible, but I don't give a fuck. I got a little taste of it. I got a taste of that sweet, sweet horse,
Oh God.
and I want more.
You got to be stubborn.
Yeah.
Just stick
Yeah.
your head in the sand and lose all your
Ooh,
friends
yeah.
and family and professional connections slowly over time.
Drop me into a sea hole. Comedy hole. Yeah,
That's actually the new club that guy's opening.
Yeah, the
helium
Seahole.
guy.
Yeah.
He's got the sea hole going on. That's that fucking pit in like the west side. of
Dude, if I can only
Cincinnati.
feature at the Seahole, it'll change everything for me. The Booker won't. The Booker doesn't think I do enough stool humping bits to get in.
The Coliseum comedy.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
I feel like we hit this pretty heavy at the beginning, but do you have any words of wisdom for our audience?
Be very mindful of the people that you surround yourself with, and I mean just generally, like, because that influences the choices you make, the way you think, all of it. Be around positive people who lift you up, who challenge you, who in a good way, not like in, people who call you out on your bullshit, on your negativity, call you out on like, things that you're doing wrong that are negative in your own life. Like, you need honest people who are kind and who want the best for you, because it's like comedy's hard, and you have to like, you build a community at first when you're young, but then like I feel like you have to kind of break away from that, or you get stuck. You get stuck in these like traps. I feel like I'm just rambling, but
It was good rambling.
It was
I
great.
was,
You
I was
could
there for it.
keep
Yeah.
just ramble on.
yeah. No, but
Led
just
Zeppelin 4.
yeah. But just work, like, okay, here's some words of wisdom that we all know. Cam O'Connor. I love Cam.
Oh, yes, we do.
Love Cam. He used to book the local club, right? And I used to like, this is when I had hosted a few times. He gave me my first host weekend, but I thought like I deserved more, and I thought that I should be a feature and all this stuff. I shouldn't have. I wasn't ready for this stuff at the time, but I was very entitled in that thinking and mindset. And he said something that really like jarred me into like, it shifted something for me, and it helped me so much as a comic. Because I was like, I'm just, why am I not featuring? Why am I not? Why does this person get to host all the time, but I never get to host? Why is this? Why is that? And Cam's a prickly fella. If you know him,
A little
you know
bit,
him.
yeah.
He's like a cactus that wants to hug you.
Yeah, he's great though. He's very real. I love that about him. He's an authentic person. I hate people who are just like, hey, buddy, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to touch your shoulder, but they'll stab you in the back in a second. You get a lot of that in comedy. And but Cam he was like, all these motherfuckers who are complaining that they're not featuring, they're not working more. He's talking about me. I don't know if he knew he was talking about me or not in my head, because I was always very nice, but I built up some resentment for him. I don't have it anymore. Like, we're very close friends, but like in the time, like there's a power dynamic there. Comics should never be bookers at clubs. So there's a power dynamic, right? So, you know, he was like, all these people that feel so entitled to all this work, especially like featuring, because he had a lot of people at my level who were like barking at him to be leveled up, right? He's like, I don't see any of these people working any other clubs besides this one out of town. Show me that you're working these other clubs. Like, this isn't like, I am not the, you know, wall to your success. There are multiple avenues. And I was just like, damn, he's right. I need to prove it.
Yeah.
I need to prove it. Like, fuck this club. Like, I'm going to go work at this club and this club. And I started, like, that was my goal all of a sudden. I set my sights on, like, I need to get into Indianapolis, into Helium. I went to their open mic every single week until I got booked for months. I drove up and back every week until I got booked.
God
I looked
damn.
at the Caravan. I was like, where are the clubs? Like, how can I make this fucking happen? Because I'm not going to let somebody stand in my... And Cam, it wasn't intentionally standing in anyone's way.
Right.
But, like... There are people who do that, and because they don't have, you know what I mean? They're just jealous or whatever. And like, so if you're new and there are people like that in your life, in your scene, like, go around them. Don't listen to them. You don't need them. There's a direct access between you and your fan base. There's nobody in the middle now. Like, make your content, put it out, and build your own fan base, and fuck what everybody else thinks. Unless your stuff's very hateful or racist or whatever. And then shut it down.
Then hate yourself and improve. That's,
Oh my god, I fucking love that.
And then I'm anti-free speech and all. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Also, can I say this? You guys get political on here?
We
why not?
don't do anything on purpose.
Okay, so there's another thing. I've heard comics tell you, like, don't be political and don't do political humor. Like, people used to tell me that, and it would affect how I, like, because I'd be scared to do it. Do whatever the fuck you want. If you're good at it, do it. If you want to do it, do it. But like, I was a little heated today because I'm like, you know, the Democrats and Republicans. I often think like both the political parties themselves. They don't really like. They're trying to distract us.
Yeah.
And like make us fight. Like, it's not, you know, left or right. It's top versus bottom. However, like, if you do want to like isolate the, you know, policies and their real life implications and impacts, the Republicans are really doing a real cool job right now. Like, they're, you know, just stopping women from letting them, you know, choose what they do with their bodies. And just, you know, there's been tons of mass shootings. Let's get more assault rifles. That seems to be, we should arm the thoughts and prayers. Have we considered that? Because I feel like the Republicans' policies right now are that we should, all of these unwanted babies, sorry, not unborn, forced births, that nobody wants, right? That are just left up for adoption, that these women are forced to give birth to, like The Handmaid's Tale. Hopefully, some of those will grow up to be good guys with guns, and they get their hands on an assault rifle, and then they'll just stop the mass shootings.
thoughts, prayers,
Thoughts and prayers.
infant army.
Yeah. So I just shout out to Republicans for, you guys are doing cool stuff.
Big shout
I don't know if you guys want to cut this out because it might split the viewership a little bit.
Oh, I think we're about ready for a split. We have too many fans. Our audience is just so vast and wide at this point. I think we're about ready to have it.
Le Pepe, welcome back aboard.
Oh shit! You down to stick around and do some Patreon noise? Fuck yeah! He's gonna stick around.
Can I smoke some weed? I got some weed in my car.
Teasing next week's episode. Okay. So it's like, thank you for tuning in for Lori Graves. Special thanks to the patrons that made it happen. Reading the names and then
they'll have
enjoy.
already listened to that episode.
It'll be up top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm
We'll
sorry.
smoke more weed later and
Yeah,
make it
yeah.
make sense.
Yeah, we're Patreoning now though.
Yeah.
We're free and loose. They paid for this, so it matters less.
It does matter less. We describe our Patreon content as a wild and weird free playground where the pressure's off, even though the dollar amount is.
gunning,
Did you say funnin' and gunning?
funnin' and gunning.
Why does that sound like something that like a VBS teacher used to say when they're just so glad that like just let him go play outside, let him go fun and gun for a while. I need a devotion.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out. Ran out of red juice, and that one kid's just yelling at me the whole time.
You can say something different. We're goofing and
Anything that doesn't make me flash back to running a VBS.
yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever ran a day camp or been like in one of those situations?
Day camp?
Have you
Day
ever
camp?
run a day camp? That's
Yeah, I realize now that's an
nice.
absurd
What
question.
is a day camp?
I don't know. Have you ever been a camp counselor of
Oh,
any
yeah.
kind? Is like what I was
Yeah,
trying to ask.
yeah.
There
okay.
we go.
I see that.
Have you ever owned and operated a day camp for children between ages 6 and 12? That's a weird
In
question.
the summer months,
Yeah.
don't
You know,
it's not
they
that
go home
weird.
at night. There are no
Yeah.
cabins.
Yeah.
You know, a day camp.
Yeah.
But no, when were you a counselor?
About 2003.
What?
Is that part
Yeah.
of teaching?
No. That was when I was a junior in high school.
Okay.
And just
Chronology.
trying to finger somebody, you know,
Yeah.
not like one of the kids.
Okay.
Dude, those
That's-
camp counselors get
one of the other
busy. I hear.
counselors. Not me. I was a freezer.
Oh
Freezing
no.
up. Yeah, nobody wanted to blow me or suck on my penis or butt. What did I say? What did I say?
No one
Or-
wanted to suck on Andrew's penis or butt.
Either or.
Thank God we got high for the Patreon episode because it's gonna be bad.
Dude, I feel that I was a mid-20s virginity loser. That was the. I didn't.
Mid-20s.
I figured myself out later in life, you know.
Yeah.
You did. You
And
did.
I was walking around being half a person, and a potential love interest clocked that hard. Yeah.
Lost your virginity
I
a
love-
few years later. Lost your kidney.
I love
Yeah.
that you just you just equated virginity as half of humanity. I was half a person, still a
Oh
virgin.
no, I was a virgin because I was half a person. I wasn't half a person because I was a virgin.
Ah,
My
that makes more
personality
sense.
wasn't done cooking.
I gotcha. Okay.
Therefore, nobody touched my penis.
Dude, my penis wasn't done cooking until I was like 25.
You gotta give it some time.
You really do.
I had no
I need
idea.
you to bake in the hot Mesa sun.
Apparently, that's like the best way to absorb vitamin
Let
D.
that dough
Yeah.
rise.
Is in Mesa.
Yeah, vitamin D.
Let the dough rise.
Let the dough rise.
Put some saran wrap over that.
Yeah, get that on a bumper
A
sticker.
little cooking
Oh,
towel. Just
man.
lay it on top.
How am I
Right
so
on
good in
deck.
bed? I let my dick proof for 45 minutes beforehand.
Well, I wake up at 4 a.m. like all good bakers.
Yeah.
Were you also like that? Or
Yeah, did you put your dick in a proofing bowl and cover it with saran wrap?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's why no one touched it?
You know who,
late bloomer?
you know who did touch my dick was a yellow jacket. Stung my penis when I was like 15, and the stinger was in there for like a year.
Oh my
From
god!
like 13 to 14.
So your first sexual experience was bestiality, where you were
got penetrated.
assaulted by.
Was it-
Pennied in my peenie.
Was it in your?
God damn it!
I'm gonna let that moment breathe a little bit before we.
Fucking have to, because I can't.
Was it a wasp in the
It was
boxers?
a yellow jacket.
Yellow
Yeah,
jacket.
that's worse, man. They're
It's a
bigger.
big boy. I saw one yesterday just by comparison. I was like, that thing was in there for a year.
Was it in your
year.
boxers and you put
So-
it on? Or you,
Hold on, the stinger was
The
stuck in
stinger,
you for a
they
year.
released their stinger. I didn't know it was in there. And it bites too. It would bite and then it stung because I remember being like, like
So
it was like a
that's what they're
finishing
into.
move.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it was like fucking Scorpion, and it had like it was like a finish him, and then it like She fucking stuck the thing in. But no, it was. Yeah, I remember playing video games. I was in my brother's room. Why was I in my brother's room playing video games? That's where the TV was. Don't make it weird. Yellow Jacket. I mean, I didn't know until later because I just feel like there's not like a multiple like stings at the base of my peen and then just one final like And
Was that his last moments? You choose to
I
give
hope
his life
so.
for that? Because
That
I know
piece of
bees
shit.
will die when they sting.
Yeah, no, I hope so because
Yeah.
he just left me, fucked me, and then left me.
That was an okay dick. I'm gonna go sting a bigger one.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, that stung worse than the stinger.
That hurts.
I'll
That
never
hurts
be in a
lot.
relationship that long again. Year? No, that's what I used to do a bit and say that. Strike that. So
edit that out.
All bits will be stricken from the record.
yeah. But I found it. I didn't realize like there was like a little piece in there, like a stinger, and then I was just fiddling with my stuff a few years later, just picked it right out. I know
There-
that sounds disgusting.
You
It was
didn't-
painless at that point, though.
Okay.
That's the part that I don't understand is that it was in there for a
Well,
year
you know,
and
you
didn't
have-
like cause a problem.
No,
There
it
weren't
was
any,
fine.
Like,
I mean, there might be. I mean, the
infections
only
or-
problem is it got way too swollen. If I'm right, ladies.
Yeah.
No.
Andrew Rudick, the whitest micro penis in Cincinnati.
Oh, speaking of, man, you want to hear another? That just reminded me of speaking of getting stung in the dick. Because my girlfriend was like, "You got to do this as a joke again." Because I used to do this as a bit, but it was like a real thing that happened to me. I was at the Thompson House mic, one of the horrible mics from way
It's
back in the day.
made more than a few appearances on this show.
Sure.
Mm.
I was walking out of it, brand new comic, a couple years in Newport, and I'm walking down the street. SUV pulls up, rolls down the window. Two very large black women, and one of them screams out, "Hey, why don't you give me that pink dick?" It was terrifying. I was scared because I was like, she would break it off.
Yeah, she would.
Yeah.
So
How does she know it was pink? How does she know I dyed it pink?
Like an Easter egg, you just dip it in there.
Yeah.
So just to be clear, the aggressive gay men on TikTok was not your first experience peeking behind the curtain
Black
of what
women
it's like to
aggressively
be.
hit on me also.
Yeah. And it's terrifying, and you lose your
Yes.
agency in that moment because you feel vulnerable and scared.
Well, also, you know, as a demographic, and I don't want to generalize, but like black women tend to be very, very confident. And like, I am not naturally confident. Like, I'm confident on stage, but if I'm approached off stage, like I'm like, you know, she was just fucking with me, like, and it's hilarious.
Right,
It's so
right.
funny, but like in that
so
moment,
funny
I
it
was
made it into your comedy.
yes, but I was truly like, I was struck him. I was like, is she a witch? How does she know? How does she know I dyed it pink? No. Is she a soothsayer? How does can she read dick?
Let me read your bone.
Let me read your let me read your bone.
This is your laugh line.
Oh shit. Man. The moments when you get reminded that, like, you know, you are a vulnerable person and like anybody could just like run up on you and stab you at any moment if there's like a person you don't
Yeah.
know.
Or run up on you, you could stab them with your little pink dick.
That's a different kind of crime. But yeah.
No, not a crime. I said they run up on you. They want it. They say, give it to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a
They're in
different
an
thing.
SUV.
Okay. Yeah, that situation.
I wish I had.
You call me the yellow jacket. I'm about to.
Call me the pink jacket. I'm the pink jacket.
man.
I'll lose my stinger and you.
Spend a year inside you.
What if that was my mutant power? Like it stung me, and now all of a sudden I can have sex with black women, because I was scared before.
Yeah.
Let's pitch this to Disney's Marvel.
Yeah, I don't think.
No, this is definitely a DC story if I've ever heard one.
You're right. They are grittier.
Yeah, this fall on Fox.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Have you had any like leads have you tried to get into any shows or anything? Has that been a thing that's even been on your radar, or
I just
you
auditioned for a movie. I mean, I work with like a
No
local
shit.
talent agency,
Okay.
but I just auditioned for a feature film that was
Wait, local
legit
talent
SAG.
agency? You with Heyman?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my dad's represented by them.
Really?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know. He's a Santa. It's infuriating.
What?
I know what it's like to have a family member who has an agent, but my dad's agent doesn't get me gigs.
You get gifts.
Fuck you, Rudy. I'm sorry, where were you? You auditioned for a movie.
I spent 8 hours with this self-tape. I set up, I recorded the other lines. Like, you're supposed to get a reader, but I couldn't find anyone. I couldn't get my sister to help me
man.
because she was busy. So I
You
just
really
had
have to leave your comedy scene eventually. Fly, bird, fly.
Yeah. So I auditioned for 2 parts of this movie. I auditioned for a musician, smaller role, and I also auditioned for the supporting role, which is a comedian who is suffering from cancer.
Oh.
And it was very bad comedy, but I fucking crushed it because bad comedy is all me. And I fucking nailed that audition. I better get it or I'm going to be furious.
My dad recently just signed. I think it was a Facebook thing, but he's
Yeah.
in an Ethan Hawke movie.
What the fuck is going on with your dads?
I don't know.
I don't know.
He
Ethan Hawking?
Ethan Hawking. Ethan Hawking. He sat next to
I
him.
have
I
a
meant
pink
Stephen
dick.
Hawking. Yeah.
He told him that his fly was unzipped, and Ethan Hawke thanked
Tony
him.
Ethan Hawking.
Wait, in the movie? He had a line? Oh, you're just joking. I'm an idiot.
No, he was off. Like when they weren't filming, he was sitting next to him, and he leans over to Ethan Hawke. And he's like, "Yo, your fly's unzipped." And he's like, "Oh, thank you very much."
Whoa. And they put him in the movie?
They gave him a SAG card for that.
No.
Can you believe that shit?
He was already in the movie.
Oh.
He sits down at the
And then
scene.
wait, he sucked his dick?
and he sucked Ethan
fly was
Hawke's dick
unzipped?
right off him. He still has it.
He's like,
Different
check out
kind of
my-
SAG card.
Check out my pink jacket.
Me and your friend Rudick both have one. We wear it when we cruise.
Yeah. So by the way, if you're a teen or actually a male of any age, don't wear mesh shorts in your brother's room when you're playing video games when you're 15, or your dick might get bit
I meant to
up
ask, like,
on in.
how short were those shorts, man? Because like I
Just
don't
mesh
see.
shorts, just boys shorts, and I wore boxers at the time, not boxer briefs. Now I got to. That's what it is. Keep them tight, keep them right, boys.
You got it locked
Boxer
down.
briefs, you got to lock out the
Easy.
fucking little
You'll
mini.
go infertile that way. Let them breathe.
We'll lock out the mini dragons.
Lock out the dragons and
Mini
kill.
dragons. The mini.
Little
Mini-
yellow
Yellow
jackets.
jackets.
Yeah,
They look like mini dragons.
they got
Kinda.
wings.
Yeah, they
Does
can
everything
giant-
have wings? Look like a dragon,
They can
Luke?
bite and
So more
sting.
than something that doesn't.
Yeah. God damn it. You know what, Lauren?
Salamander.
Give me your kidney. Let's go.
Come on.
Is this how this works?
Hop
Hawk
on
it
the
up.
table.
One bad
Hawk it
line
up.
and I've got it. Jesus
Hawk it up.
Christ.
I don't
Okay.
need it yet.
Will you
Put
get
it
a
on
knife? I don't think
have
I
you
can.
eaten? But it's fine. We'll do it.
Do you have anything like any dark secrets that you would feel comfortable sharing behind the paywall, other than
God, you just sent me
You're-
down a spiral with some of my own
Okay.
darkest secrets.
We led with your dick getting stung by a yellow jacket. Do we really want to hear the dark secrets he's holding back?
I gave him the shovel, man. Let him
All right.
dig.
Let me tell you something. My dark secrets are dark. I'm talking murder, rape. No, I'm just kidding.
You here to? I can't.
What happened? Even on Patreon. They're like,
Well, there I was, fucking and killing Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Cock.
And then Luke's dad showed up and was like, "You can't do
He's
that."
like, your fly's unzipped. I was like, I know.
I did it.
But no, dark secrets. I'm trying to think of just embarrassing stuff that's happened.
That should have been the word I used. Dark was a weird
Yeah.
word to use.
Yeah. I'm thinking of embarrassing. Like, I mean, I have so many embarrassing, like, peenie stories around my, like, little weenie teen in,
Yeah.
like, high school and stuff. Like, my friend pants me. I went on that, like, ride, Super Soaker USA, whatever, at Kings Island.
Was it the
Sucked
big
me
funnel?
under.
Splash Mountain.
No, it was the thing. It was like Surf USA, and it would,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it sucked me under. It sucked my undies off, and
Oh, the
everybody saw
thing
my
where you're
little-
on like a paddleboard
Yeah.
and there's like
I
simulated
used to do-
wave.
Yeah, I used to do a dumb bit about it, but yeah, like My little weenie came out, and the lifeguard was laughing. Same, and then my friend pulled my pants down. Social studies. Everybody saw my little weenie. It's big. It's had time to cake in the Arizona sun since.
Have you? I mean, your social media presence has grown and blossomed over time, and that's attributed a lot to your success. Have you thought about growing your Peenie's social media presence to correct a lot of the bad press that it got
There you
early
go.
on?
Spin it.
Well, yeah, I would spin it, but all these fucking moderators and they censor everything now. You can't.
Okay, but again, going back to something you said earlier, you are centrally focused on being a comedian. So much so that you will do anything to get there, even putting out slop
You know
for
what
the
I
piggies.
am doing? What I haven't started, but I am, because it's subscription-based Instagram and I have a lot of followers, I'm going to start doing feet videos for any, I mean, it's all gay men who follow me, but
Right.
but anyone really, if you're into feet, like I don't know if I think my feet look weird. I don't know if that's
the
good.
thing about feet. If you're not into it, like, do they want nasty feet?
Well,
Well, that's
Do
the
they
thing.
like
No,
it?
that's the thing about any body part. Don't shame the feet people. Like
Okay.
any body part, if you're not into it, it's just like, well, why? Because I mean, if you're not into a dick, you're looking at a dick. It's just funny.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put like peanut butter on my feet. I'm saying, I'm not even kidding. So the $5 a month if you're into that. I should have done this on the regular episode.
Well, we can mention it in the
Yeah,
intro.
we can definitely. All the plugs are in
Will
the
you-
intro.
Yeah, okay. Because I would like to plug my podcast too. My sister.
I was curious. Did you just get the blue check mark on?
Oh yeah.
You pay for that now.
Yes. Yes. You
Not
do.
to cut your legs out from under you,
Do.
but
well, did I pay for mine or did I
Yeah,
already
I was
have it
curious.
because my 40,000 followers?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
That was
what's the answer?
the world may never
Right.
know.
Yeah. What is the answer?
I mean, we are behind a paywall. You can just be honest and say
Oh.
that you did it organically with
Totally.
your 40,000 followers.
That's
Right.
an option.
Totally.
So like crunchy or smooth though.
Yeah. I could just do that.
Just peanut butter? You gonna get Nutella on those piggies?
I ain't Nutella nothing about these little piggies. Yeah. Go back to your trough.
Holy shit. Oh, I don't know how we're going to top you putting peanut butter on your feet. Do you guys want to do an intro and get out of here?
Yeah.
we wrap. You got any final words for the patron?
So you said there's like 13
There's 15 on a good day.
15 little piggies.
Yeah. Soon to be more.
Thank you for supporting and join my Patreon for my podcast.
Yeah,
It's called The
plug that.
Rudiks Are Home. I do it with my sister. Just shitty thing to do. But if you're willing to pay for me too.
We just drop to zero. They migrate all over to the Rudiks.
No, what do I want to give them something
You're gonna
special?
show up in a Rudik t-shirt and not make eye contact with.
Yeah.
You want to give them something special?
Because they're paying extra.
We
I
have
do
peanut
appreciate
butter.
it. I mean, that's gonna cost you $5 on my Instagram. But let's see, something for the Patreon piggies.
Man, I really like how
Secret.
we make the guest come up with the thing at the end.
No, no,
That's my favorite
I
thing.
I was honestly curious if you
Secret.
had something. I didn't mean
No,
to
no,
shift
I want
it
to.
all
I
over.
want to tell a secret, but I can't think of one because I'm sure there's a fun one.
Do we have any secrets while you're?
Oh, I have a
percolating?
secret.
Oh.
I have a good secret.
Thank God.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually have
also
this
relieved.
This is actually really good for Patreon because I don't know if I've ever shared this with anyone, and I don't want it out there. But it's okay if it's for 13 people on Patreon. I used to,
15 on
Soon
a
to
good
be
day.
more.
or yeah, 15. Sorry. I mean that's a lot. That's a good
Thank you.
amount of number. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could use 15 more on the Rudiks Are Home Patreon. Patreon.com// the Rudiks Are Home. You'll hear all kinds of stories like these. So, okay. So when I was in my heavy drink, I don't drink anymore for reasons that you'll soon will be obvious. But I when I was heavily drinking, I was new into comedy. There was it wasn't Brouhaha, but there was like another festival at Sawyer Point that I went up to. I was newly single and I was a big drunk. and I was trying to impress this girl who I really liked, and she was a little how do I say this? I don't want to say crazy, but yeah, she was a little crazy, like in the sense of like, you know, she seemed like, and crazy can be good, right?
A lot of the greatest minds of our generation were considered insane in their time.
I'm sure she'd throw you an amazing beach. I never got to find out. But I
Throw you an amazing beach.
don't know.
It sounds like a party for a religion I've never heard. I'm turning 15. Everyone come to my beach.
Son,
Yeah.
you're a man now.
Oh shit! Right. So she was
Let's
very
just say
religious.
She was problematic. She was
Okay.
problematic, and she was a rowdy type. And I really liked her. I had a big crush on her. And I was a reckless alcoholic who had just gotten out of a bad relationship. And I saw in her somebody who was seeking out a bad boy, something that I'm not necessarily naturally, although I think I might naturally be a bad boy after hearing the story. But I was really drunk, and I see her at this festival, and I think I can tell the story because it's statute of limitation. It's like 5 years, I believe. She kept complaining to me about how she hated her job. She worked for this like e-cigarette company. She's like, I hate my job. I hate my job. You know, these fucking people are making me work, like sell these e-cigarettes. It's this festival or whatever, like giving out this shit. And I'm like talking to her, and I go to the festival. I'm like flirting with her, and I'm getting drunk, and then I wander away. She's like, all right, well, I'll text you later. I gotta finish working, whatever. And I was like, all right, I'll catch up with you later. And I'm all drunk, and I'm just like wandering out Sawyer Point. I'm leaving, and I see the van that she works for, and I just start like fucking it up. Yeah, like with my keys. I started like
I
keying
did
it.
not expect it to
Yeah.
go that way.
And what? Yeah. And then I texted her, and I was like, "Hey, I know you hate this company. I like keep the shit out of the van for you." She's like, "What? Like that's awesome. That's so hot." Like
It
impressed her. It worked. Like it impressed her because she was like, I could tell she was just like, you know, it was just that person that like type of guy would fuck up somebody's van because it was some corporate
Chaotic
whatever.
element.
Yeah. And I'm really glad as I'm telling this that there are only 15 people listening to this. But if you're into that, you know, patreon.com/Rubik's.
You know, and if you're not into that, maybe consider it a wake-up call. And
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, the flip side of that is I've looked into statute of limitations, and I'm not liable. First of all. Second of all, I don't drink.
Yes.
You know, and you know, if you rewind about 2 minutes, I very clearly said for reasons that will soon become obvious.
Yes.
I guess I am a little bit of a bad boy.
I didn't want to come across judgy there. I'm sorry if I did.
No, you didn't at all. You're right. It's insanely toxic behavior and not okay at all.
That makes me feel like I have judged.
I don't.
Hey,
I
no,
don't.
I
don't feel any judgment.
I don't feel any judgment
go.
from you at all.
No judgment.
I judge myself a little bit for doing it, honestly, but
No, don't do that either.
Yeah,
You were right then to do it in the moment, and we're also right now to judge you for being an asshole.
yeah.
Nobody's wrong on this
Yes,
podcast.
I do feel good because I feel like it's good content, like it's exciting
Yeah.
content. It's a little,
got you.
it's
Cool.
very illegal.
Yeah.
It is very illegal.
Yeah.
You
Do you think
did.
there are some problems with the illegality of it?
No, I think you're
You
more
did
than
more
safe.
research
Was it
You
more
don't have
than?
nerds. You don't have fucking nerds on your Patreon. It's not like nerds.
It was more than 7 years ago, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're fine.
yeah.
Even if you had been charged with it, they can't.
They're not gonna find me. Who's gonna find me?
What was the name of the company?
Yeah. What was her name?
Yeah.
What?
It was
First, middle, last.
it was Keymaster.
Oh
Is
man.
Clinton on this Patreon?
No, we haven't had him back on since we started doing Patreon stuff, and he's also not a subscriber.
We've been doing
'cause
this
he's-
character called Keymaster. I don't
What?
want to get into it, but it's fine.
Hell yeah! Thanks for subscribing, everybody.
Oh shit! Yeah. intro and then the Patreon reading.